Hey there, friend. Welcome to the Living Well-Rounded podcast, a curated space for those of us seeking an intentional life filled with grace, passion, and purpose. I'm your hostess, Jamira, wife, mama, life and biz coach, educator, dessert fanatic, and on the ultimate mission to get you closer to your idea of what it means to live well-rounded. Right here's where you'll find exceptional resources, noteworthy tips, community, and relatable stories, no matter what season of life you're in. Take a break, cozy up, hang out with me for a bit, and let's dive in. Hey there, Well-Rounder. Welcome back to the Living Well-Rounded podcast. I am your hostess, Jamira, and I am thrilled to have a guest today who is joining me to talk about one of the things that excites me the most, and that is productivity, time management, and how to carve out time to focus on what matters most. I am joined by Anna Dearmon Kornick, who is a time management coach. She and I met a few months back at a conference, and as soon as we met, we hit it off because we are just in alignment with a lot of the things that matter most to us, things like our family, serving our clients well, and also just finding the best tips, tricks, resources so that we can live a life that feels well-rounded. So let's dive into today's interview with our girl, Anna. All right, so before we totally dive into the interview with Anna, I know you are waiting and on the edge of your seats. Let me read her official bio. So Anna Dearmon Kornick is a time management coach, wife, and mom who helps busy professionals and business owners master time management so they can stop feeling overwhelmed and start spending time on what matters most. As the host of It's About Time, a podcast about work, life, and balance, Anna shares time management tips, productivity strategies, and real-life advice to help her listeners make the most of their time. In addition to teaching actionable takeaways, Anna interviews other go-getters to find out how they navigate family, friends, fulfilling careers, and full schedules. All right, let's bring Anna to the mic. Hey, Anna, welcome to the show. How are you doing today, friend?
Hi, thank you so much. I'm so excited to be here with you today. Thank you for having me.
I am excited because third time's the charm. Between our schedules and the internet and all the things in the world, we are finally here having our chat that we've been wanting to have for months at this point.
I know. I'm so glad that we were finally able to make this work. We are some obstacle overcomers over here to make this happen.
I know, that's right. It is so true. If only they knew the backstory. But before we get into all of that, introduce yourself to our audience.
Sure. So my name is Anna Dearmon Kornick. I'm a time management coach and host of It's About Time, a podcast sharing stories and strategies to inspire better work-life balance. And I also serve as head of community at Clockwise. Clockwise is an amazing tech startup that is really on a mission to help people make time for what matters. And they do this by learning your calendar and redistributing your meetings so that you can find more time to focus. It's so amazing that my worlds kind of collide between being a time management coach for busy entrepreneurs and professionals. And then in my day job, I get to help people make time for what matters on a much larger scale. When I am not working, I'm always a mom and a wife to my husband, Scott, and my two little girls, Camilla and Elizabeth, who are almost 1 and almost 3. So our house is kind of an adventure all the time. I live right outside of Baton Rouge, Louisiana. So I love all things Louisiana cooking and Mardi Gras and baking. And I'm just super excited to join you today to talk time management and, see how we can, help everybody live just a little bit easier.
I love it. First of all, I've always loved your accent. It just feels like home and comforting and all the things. So I love your Louisiana accent. We met a few months back at a conference and we had the best time getting to know each other. But one thing that we share is the importance of making time for what matters most, which is basically what this show is based around, my brand, and also the work that you do as well. And so you are the it girl for helping people increase their productivity. So what are some of your tips for someone that is looking to increase their productivity as we get into a new year and a new season?
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's such a great question, especially for this time of year. And the first thing that I've got to tell you is that when it comes to time management, so often we think that buying a new planner or learning a hot strategy or a productivity hack is going to be that thing that changes everything. But in reality, time management really starts with heart management. And you can't even begin to effectively move things around on your calendar until you get to the heart of what matters most to you. And so my first challenge, my first encouragement for anyone who's looking to up their productivity in 2022 would be to ask yourself why. Why do you want to be more productive? Is it because you want more quality time with your family? Is it because you want more time to grow a side gig that you hope to turn into a full-time business? Is it because you want to advance in your career so you can make a bigger impact? Because when you first articulate why you want to be more productive, that will increase your drive to really dig in and find the strategies that work for you.
Oh my gosh, that is so good. The why behind everything, instead of just jumping into it, getting into the heart of the matter and understanding the things that matter most to you. So I love the idea of having people actually do some reflection so that they can just navigate the territories a lot better when they're trying to figure out how to be more productive.
Yeah, we don't want to be productive just for the sake of being productive. We want to
Right,
be
right,
productive
right.
with a purpose.
Right. Total facts there. Because again, it's like what matters most to you, you will make time for it. And then you will either hustle to get other things done. You'll either delegate it or outsource it if it means that you have more time for the good stuff. So I love that answer so much. So you recently shared on your podcast things that we all should know regarding procrastination. And so can you give some insight on procrastination, what it is and all the things there?
Oh my, absolutely. So the first thing that I've got to tell you about procrastination is that everybody does it. We can be so hard on ourselves and tell ourselves, oh, I'm so lazy. I'm such a procrastinator. I never do things when I need to do it. But I've got to tell you, you're not alone. If you're struggling with procrastination, everybody does it. The second not most important, but incredibly important thing to know about procrastination is that most of the time when we procrastinate, it's not because we're lazy. It's because there's some kind of fear involved or some kind of negative factor. If it's not that there's a fear, it's that we know it's going to be hard. A lot of times we tend to put off things when we don't know all the steps involved or we've never done it before because there's some type of negative factor involved. And when that fear or when that like confusion or just, you're just not looking forward to it outweighs our self-control and our motivation, then everything feels harder. Everything feels scarier and we're more likely to put things off. So that really empowers us though, because when you know that procrastination is typically due to fear or because something feels hard, you can then ask yourself, why? What am I afraid of here? What is it that feels so hard about this? Because when you know why you're putting something off, you can then take better, more strategic steps forward. Because if you realize, oh, I'm putting off doing my, taxes because it's scary. Okay. Why is it scary? Okay. Well, it's scary because I don't really understand what I'm doing. Okay. If I don't understand what I'm doing, how can I learn? Who can I ask for help? How can I break this down into smaller pieces so I can take one small action to then start a chain reaction to making progress?
That's so good. I'm over here like shaking my head like, yes, amen, preach. Because I'm thinking about the things that I am procrastinating right now. And yeah, it's either fear. It's either like I need to hire someone else because I don't know what I'm doing. So it is all the things that you named for sure is the reason why I am putting off doing some of the things on my list. So you hit the nail on the head. And so a question that I have pondered myself personally is, do you believe in the idea of multitasking or just batching and sticking to one thing at a time?
It's so funny. I actually have, I have a podcast episode that is literally called, how to multitask better or something like that. I'll have to find the exact, how to do more things at once. Just kidding. Multitasking is a lie because multitasking is a lie. Multitasking is a total lie.
I love it.
It's so funny because I feel like society has conditioned us into believing that multitasking is a good thing. And when I say multitasking, I mean having emails up while you are working on a project and you're also, prepping your report. You have multiple things happening at one time. But the thing is that scientifically, multitasking is actually impossible. We can't do two things at once. I mean, you can walk and chew gum at the same time. We can have a conversation and go jogging at the same time, but you really can't truly focus on two intense or two complex things at once. And so what you're doing instead is something called context switching. Mm-hmm. Context switching is looking over at your email and then looking over at an article you're reading and then trying to write a couple words, a couple lines of, a blog post. And every time you switch, you lose just a little bit of focus and you lose a little bit of productivity. And all of that switching during the course of your day can add up to around 40% of your productivity just completely lost. So people who think that they are being productive because they're doing multiple things at once are actually doing multiple things poorly. They're actually doing a lot of things at the same time and doing a bad job at all of them. And so whenever you fully grasp and accept that multitasking really just doesn't work, it really empowers you to think about, okay, well, if multitasking doesn't work, what does work? And it's monotasking or single tasking, which is literally just doing one thing at a time. And it's hard for us to do one thing at a time because our brains crave novelty. I like to get into like the nitty gritty science of things, and our brains crave novelty. And every time we switch from the blog post we're working on to our email over to Instagram, we get hit with a dose of a feel good chemical, and our brain rewards us for switching. So our brain is rewarding us for switching, but we're not actually getting anything done, but we feel like we are. So it tricks us into feeling like we're getting a lot done. It's really bananas. And you have to like trick yourself into focusing on one thing at a time in order to truly get things done, to move the needle and do that impactful work. That's something that we actually do with Clockwise in my full-time role. So we move people's calendar, we move people's meetings around in order to create open blocks of focus time so that you can actually put your head down and work on one thing at a time in order to make progress and get things done. Another thing that's really startling that I've got to tell you about is that distractions pop up constantly. I think those of us who work behind computers are hit with somewhere around like 43 distractions an hour or something bananas like that. We are constantly hit with distractions. And every time we are pulled away from that thing that we're focused on, whether it's to check an email or respond to a Slack message or check Instagram, it takes around 27 minutes to regain your focus on that original task. 27 minutes to regain your focus and actually get back into that state of flow. So when we're hit with distractions that often, and it takes 27 minutes to get back into a state of focus, I mean, it's no wonder why we end our days wondering where the time went and why we didn't get everything done on our to-do list.
That is so good. And it's so true because I think about when you mentioned distractions, you're in the middle of working on a client proposal or you're in the middle of just working on a project or whatever it is. And then you get that social media notification that someone liked this or posted that or put a story up. And then you go down the rabbit hole.
You do.
And then you're trying to get back on track. And then it's like, oh, damn, it's terrible
Yeah.
So everything that you said, I'm like literally visualizing it happening on a daily basis
Yeah.
for some of us.
Uh-huh. It is. It's all of us. It's something that we all struggle with because we are wired to look at new things.
Right.
And when we're constantly surrounded by new things, the ability to focus, that makes you a hot commodity. If
Mm-hmm.
you can focus on that client proposal, that's going to make you so much more successful because we're all really struggling with that ability to pay attention. The last thing I'll say in with regard to multitasking is that if you're listening and you are someone in a position to hire a team and you are looking for amazing candidates, I highly encourage you to not think of multitasking as a good thing that you are looking for. So this goes against so much of what people do whenever they're hiring is that they're looking for someone who I'm looking for a great multitasker. No, you're not looking for a great multitasker. You're looking for someone who can manage many projects at once. So
Mm.
clearly state that what you're looking for. You're not looking for a multitasker because multitasking doesn't exist. Multitasking is a lie. Just be more clear. I'm looking for someone who can manage multiple projects at once because there's a big difference between managing multiple projects and multitasking.
That is so good because I know a lot of my clients who are hiring and they're, will do a coaching session and they're like, okay, I know I need to grow my team. So then they work on this job description and you are right again, where multitask, attention to detail, this, and that, where when you really think about it, you can have more attention to detail if you are focused and honed in on that one thing versus
Yes.
feeling like you're pulled in 10 different direction. So if you do have a person that knows how to pivot, how to put something down and how to pick other things up when it is a priority, again, it
Mm-hmm.
encompasses the whole living well-rounded culture, then you have someone that is really going to knock it out of the park for
Yes.
your team and help with the forward movement of the team as well. So that's such a great tip that I hope if someone is listening that they pull up those job descriptions and just
Yeah.
tweak the language a little bit so that you can interview and see if that person is a good fit and if they are able to shift where they need to shift and when they need
Yes,
to shift as well.
definitely.
And so, Anna, what have you found to be most helpful when we are trying to increase focus? You kind of talked about it a little bit, but are there any other things that stand out that you can think of if we want to focus a little bit better and be more productive?
Oh, yes, my friend. So we've talked about how we are hit with so many distractions that come
Mm-hmm.
in the form of notifications and emails and, our environment and people coming to, check in on us and, send us a text message and get a phone call and a message from daycare, the whole nine yards. But sometimes, even when we do clear out all of those distractions and it's just you and your laptop and it's time to get work done, suddenly we can become our own worst enemy
Mm.
because all of a sudden, we're working on our client proposal, we're working on our blog post, and we remember, oh, I think we're out of toilet paper. And then we head over to Amazon and we put in a quick order for toilet paper. And then while we're there, we realize, oh wait, it's almost my mom's birthday. Let me find something for her real quick.
Yes.
And then we think, oh well, after my mom's birthday, it's our anniversary, so I should probably start thinking about what we're going to do for that. And so you end up going down this self-inflicted rabbit hole because when you start to begin to focus, you have all of these ideas and things that you remember that need to be done. And a lot of us just say, well, let me just do that real quick. Let me just do that thing real quick. Let me put in that order. Let me go ahead and make that phone call. And then the next thing we know, our focus time, that time that we had set aside to get that thing done, it's zapped because we did all of these other little things that popped into our heads. And so we end up staying up
Mm-hmm.
late when everybody's in bed and trying to focus again to get this done. And it's all because we chased a bunch of shiny things.
Mm.
We chased a bunch of distracting shiny things. And so what we've got to do is figure out how we're going to stop chasing those shiny things that pop into our head. And so I love to recommend doing this by creating a shiny things list. So it's super simple. Anyone can do this, and you can start doing it literally today. Whenever you sit down to start your focused work, when you've really got to be heads down, get a notepad. And I'm serious, like sheet of paper, notepad, something to write on, not your phone note, not like a Google Doc, a notepad, and put it next to you at your computer. Ask yourself, what time do I have available right now to get this done? Okay. So I've got from 12 to 1:30. This is my block of time to focus. So you write down on your shiny things list, 12 o'clock to 1:30. You've got your start time and your end time. Parkinson's law states that work expands to fill the time allotted. So time blocking and creating boundaries is what is going to help us stay focused on our work. So we've got that taken care of right off the bat. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to write down 1 to 3 things that we want to do during that focus time block, because we want to give the focus time block a specific purpose so that we stay focused on the most important things. So you can write down 1, client proposal, 2, blog post, 3, podcast episode, because when you finish the first, you know exactly what you're going to next. There's no question. There's no opportunity to get distracted. You know exactly what's ahead of you. Beneath those 1, 2, and 3, you draw a line and you write the word shiny things. You write the word shiny things, and then you get to work. And every time every time something pops into your head, like that you need to order more toilet paper or that you're out of toothpaste, instead of taking action on it in the moment, you write it down on your shiny things list, you get it out of your head, and you get back to work. And every time you think of something, you write it on your shiny things list, and then you get back to work. And at the end of that time block, once you hit that 1:30, you take a look at your shiny things list and you see all of those random things that you've corralled, and you ask yourself, what of this do I need to do right now? What can be deferred or scheduled to be done later? What of this can I delegate to someone else on my team, my spouse, one of my kids? And what if this really isn't that important and I can just delete it? So if you are looking for a super simple way to stay focused during your focus time and not chase all of those shiny things down a rabbit hole, seriously, make a shiny things list to capture all of those shiny things so you can stay focused and get things done.
So I would really like to see come out of your camp a shiny things notepad that has all of this. Yes. Like I need it to be something that has, like you said, a space where I can put the time and then dump all the things. And then I can just keep buying it from you when I run out. And it's really pretty and branded because all this stuff is pretty and branded. I need all of that.
Okay. Yeah. I've made a version of it for my clients, but I haven't offered it broadly yet, but I might just have to do that.
I'm just saying I can, because it's, we creatives like pretty things.
We do.
And so it'll be an intentional pretty thing on our desk, and we pull it out. Yep. And then, shiny things list. And then it'll be great to keep track of things. And then if you do go to the store and you do need, now it's also a grocery list.
Right. Oh, wait, I need
toilet paper and toothpaste. Yep.
We do, but things pop into our heads all the time. And, I remember my very, very first time management coaching client. One of the things that we discovered is that the reason why she was late to work every morning, like consistently late to work, it's because while she was getting dressed, she would stop in the middle of curling her hair and order something on Amazon that she thought of in that moment. And she would put it in her cart and buy it. And then 15 minutes later, she would think of something else that she needed. And she would stop putting on her eyeliner and order it right then. It was just,
she's got 1,000 Amazon boxes coming to her.
1,000. Yeah. I was like, we don't, sometimes things like that can just become a second nature part of our lives, and it can become so ingrained that you don't realize that there's another way. Oh, but there is another way.
There's another way. And I do something similar where I use the to-do list app where I will write, like to your point, something on the grocery list or something that needs to be done or a social media post idea. Mm-hmm. I have different lists. And so I will stop to put it on there because, I forget some stuff. So I can see that being an issue for a lot of people. So it is nice to just have a nice one place to put all the things.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about busy weeks. How do you plan for your busy week? You have a family, your wife, you juggle a lot of roles. So how do you plan for that busy week?
Sure. I could not survive without doing a weekly planning session every single Sunday. Typically in the morning while I'm having my cup of coffee, easing into the day, I think about the week ahead. A weekly planning session, I can't emphasize this enough. It's the single most important thing that you can do every week. And for those of you listening in who are like, weekly planning session, what's that? Well, in a nutshell, it's your opportunity to get a bird's eye view of the week ahead, to get an idea of what's coming for you, for your spouse, your partner, if you have one, your kids, if they have activities. It's an opportunity to catch communication breakdowns before they happen, because when you have that bird's eye view of the week, you're able to identify, oh, Tuesday's a really busy day. I need you to handle kid pickup that day. So let's go ahead and decide. I'll get them on Monday. You get them on Tuesday, Wednesday, and you can make decisions like that in advance if your schedule changes. You can also identify the days that are especially that lend themselves to takeout or crockpot meals. If you know that you've got a late meeting or that you've got a long day, instead of, planning a recipe that's going to be complicated, make that a crockpot meal, or just go ahead and decide in advance that that's going to be a night for takeout. And a lot of times when you decide in advance, look, Tuesday, I've got a late meeting. We're just going to pick up pizza. You don't have that guilt because you made the decision in advance. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there is nothing worse than opening up your fridge at 7 p.m. hangry with screaming people around you. And all you've got is a bottle of hot sauce and some cheese. You can't do anything with that. And so when you do a weekly planning session, you're able to think about the week ahead, map out, what do we need to eat this week to survive? Create your grocery list. If you do grocery delivery, this is your time to go ahead and put that order in so that they're shopping for you while you do other things on your Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then, something that this is also a great time to look at your budget to make sure that you're staying in line with your budget, to make sure that you're hitting your goals. And then, after I tackle those things, my next step is to check the weather. And I head over to both of my little girls' closets and I pick all of Camilla's outfits for the week ahead and clip her little bows onto her outfits. And then I go to Elizabeth's room and do the same thing. I am not a morning person. Just because I am a time management coach does not mean that I pop out of bed like a Pop-Tart at 5 a.m. I struggle in the mornings. So anything that I can do on Sundays while I'm leisurely drinking my coffee to make my mornings easier, I'm all for it. So we pick out outfits on Sundays so that on weekday mornings, it's one less decision that I've got to make. And so that's the biggest benefit of doing a weekly planning session is that it combats decision fatigue. And decision fatigue, we've all been there. That feeling where you've made so many decisions during the course of the day, and the average adult makes around 35,000 decisions every day. So that comes out to somewhere around 2,000 an hour, I think, if you sleep like 7 to 8 hours a night. Oh. And around 250 of those are about food, by the way, if you're curious. In Louisiana, it's probably more because we're like, okay, what's next? Where are we eating next? And, yeah, it keeps you from running on empty and making bad decisions. That's why we make so many bad decisions at night, is because our decision making tank is almost empty. So grabbing that ice cream out of the fridge or out of the freezer at like 11 p.m. It seems like a great idea when your decision fatigue has set in.
So many things I have to say about this question, your answer to the question. Again, this is why we're like, sisters in this whole time management.
Yes, kindred spirits.
Legit. So in my course, Systems for Your Sanity, it is everything that you just said is what I teach inside of the course. And you call it a planning session, and we call it inside of my course the weekly reset.
Ooh, I love that. Yeah.
So we literally reset for the week. And then, what I found that for some people, Sunday may not be your day. It could, because of our work schedules are all crazy. It could be the Monday reset or the whatever reset, because everything is different. But in the course, I teach of the importance of, instead of reinventing the wheel and going to the closet 5 times in a week, you now only go to the closet 1 time to get the outfits for. And then you also mentioned the kids. I take it a step further and even say for yourself to encourage, if you want to work out. When I was trying to get my life together, I was like, okay, I picked out all my workout outfits for the week so that they were all there. And then I felt a sense of pride when I knew that the pile was dwindling down, because that meant that I did something.
There's accountability there too, because know that stack is there and you want to follow through. And
absolutely,
make the stack dwindle, do the workouts.
Absolutely, show up. So everything that you're saying is like the foundation of how I've been running my family for the past, my daughter's almost 12, so 12 years, when I knew she was, daycare, making sure her outfits, her onesies, like you said, her hair bows and all the things were laid out. We have 5 baskets in my son's room. And so I go in there in his pajamas, his socks and all the things, and he can dress himself now. So he just pulls from the basket. And he grabs what he needs to get. And my daughter, she picks her outfits out for the week, which I think is great, because I think it'll be a practice that she'll have as an adult. Like, let me get set for the week. And the idea of checking the weather is huge, because here in the DC area, it was 30 one day and 65 literally the next.
Oh, we had that not too long ago. It was crazy. It was like,
you got to be intentional.
I know.
Like, I had to put on a sweater one day in my son's uniform versus a long sleeve or whatever. So the weekly reset has been my godsend, and I cannot emphasize it enough. And like I said, I teach it inside of my course. And I always say what feels like duh to me is aha for others, because I've had students inside of the course say, this literally changed my life. Like, why was I packing my kids' lunch every single night?
Yeah.
Why am I not doing it on Sunday and having them and then just transferring everything over to the lunchbox? But so I talk all about it. I'm obsessed with it. It is a part of our system and workflow for our family. And it just excites me that someone else understands the benefits of that practice as well. So you guys definitely take notes on the planning sessions, the Sunday reset, all of it. And I'm going to make sure we add some stuff in the show notes, because I think that alone is going to be a game changer for a lot of people that are listening right now. And so, what have you found to be most helpful when trying to spend quality time with your loved ones, time for yourself? You also have clients you serve, and also a full-time commitment at this point. So what is most helpful when you're trying to juggle all the things?
Oh, it is quite a juggle, isn't it? So one of the most important game changers that has enabled me, and additionally that I've worked with my clients to create, that game changer is called a daily shutdown routine. So very often as we end our day, we've tackled our to-do list or most of it. All of a sudden the kids are home, or it's time for us to shut off and, head into dinner and be with our families. But we're still thinking about all of the unfinished tasks associated with work. We're thinking about that email that still needs to be sent. Chances are our desktop or our laptop still has tons of open tabs. And we just kind of get up from our desk and just walk straight into our life. And, right now, a lot of us who are creative entrepreneurs who work from a home office, we've been living this life for a while. We've worked from home, we've worked in a home office. And then there are a lot of people who over the last year and a half have been working from home for the very first time. They're used to going to offices and now they're working from home. And the line between home and work has gotten blurrier than ever. And so it's really difficult when your environment's not changing to shut off that work brain, because when you own a business, there's always something else that could be done, right? There's always something that you could be doing as a business owner. And if you have a full-time role, there's always something that you could do to catch up or get ahead. And a shutdown routine is a lot like what we do whenever we shut off our computers. We very rarely do. Like, so often we leave our laptops on all the time. But a shutdown routine, it's for our computer, looks like closing all the tabs and turning off the laptop and just letting it breathe, letting it rest. And so your shutdown routine, your personal shutdown routine, is one that helps you transition out of work brain, decide what finished means, and then step into your personal life feeling refreshed, feeling complete, feeling like you're done so that you can focus. So a shutdown routine is something that is pretty simple. It only has a few steps, but the purpose of it is to create a mindset shift from work to not work. And so your shutdown routine could look like reviewing your calendar for the next day to get an overview of what's coming. Then it could look like reviewing your to-do list to see what you accomplished today, what needs to be shifted for tomorrow. Then it could look like maybe a last scan of your email, tackling any final emails of the day. And then it could be closing out literally all of the tabs that you have open, closing everything out and closing your laptop. Because what you've done is you've done something physical that represents closure. And this sends a signal to your brain that you're done, that you've reached the finish line, that you're complete. Because just like the way when we leave tabs open on our laptop, they're continually refreshing. When we leave a tab open, it's continually refreshing as that website adds new things, And so the same thing happens in our brains. When we walk away from our desk without saying, I am finished, without having that mindset shift, our minds continue to refresh and they continue to spin and think about all of those work things. And we take that with us into our personal time, and we're not fully focused on work, and we're not fully focused on our family or our personal time. And so having that shutdown routine is what really signals to your brain, hey, I am transitioning from work to not work. It's time to be present.
That's so good. And again, you guys, so many gems that I am going to put all of these in. Well, not all of them, because a lot that you dropped here, but some of these items in the show notes so that you can be triggered to remember a lot of these gems that you have dropped as our amazing guest here today. And so let's talk about tools and software and resources. Anna, what are some of your favorites for time management?
Oh, this is such a fun question because tools can be so personal and there are so many of them. I feel like I'm finding out about a new productivity tool every day. Every day. But the first disclaimer that I've got to give is that a tool is not going to do it for you. A pretty planner is not going to prioritize your days. It's a tool. So, it should probably go without saying, I could not live at this point without Clockwise. Clockwise is an extension for Google Calendar. So if you have Google Calendar, I highly recommend that you head over to getclockwise.com and download it for free and check it out. It's really amazing because especially if you're working with a team, it enables you to make your meetings flexible. And so they literally move in order to find the best time for not just you, but for members of your team as well. And it makes time management so much more of a team sport than a solo project. So Clockwise is amazing in helping me find that time to focus. Of course, Google Calendar. I'm a time blocking enthusiast. The best way to actually make sure that you have time to do all of the things on your to-do list is by putting them on your calendar, because a to-do list has that potential to get so long and we tell ourselves, oh yeah, I can do all of this. But in reality, It's just not the case. And so time blocking in Google Calendar is huge. My paper planner of choice is Emily Lay's Simplified Planner. It's super simple on the inside. I don't have a ton of boxes to check or questions to answer. I love planners like that, but sometimes I can find that they can be a bit cumbersome. And I feel bad when I don't answer all the questions or color in the little glasses of water, you know?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, like I'm not going to do that. I just need something simple. And plus I'm a sucker. Yeah. I'm a sucker for a pretty cover. One thing that is a tool that I absolutely love, I'm actually grabbing it since we're on video, and it's a cube timer. It's this little cube. It's green. And, so you're listening. So picture like a little box, and on each side of the box is a different, duration. So 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 1 minute, and 5 minutes. And basically the way it works is that you set a timer for yourself. You just pick the duration, you put it on your desk, time side up, and it starts a timer for you. And you can use it to say, okay, I want to spend 15 minutes tackling my inbox. And when I'm going to do as much as I can for 15 minutes. And when it's up, I'm moving on to something else, because we literally could spend all day in our inboxes if we don't watch out. And the reason why using a separate cube timer, and I mean, maybe you grab a kitchen timer or you ask Alexa to set a timer for you. But the reason why I don't use my phone is because I think we can all agree that anytime we pick up our phones, even to set a timer, we are at risk of compulsively hopping over to Instagram or checking Facebook. And then 30 minutes later, where has the time gone? So I love using timers as a time management and productivity tool. And using a cube timer or some kind of timer that is not your phone will really help you be the most successful there.
Oh, I love that. I love that so much. And you're right. Anytime you pick up your phone, they're also tracking your stats. So then you feel guilty that you picked up your phone 1,000 times in a week. Yeah. And then you've done all these other things. Mm-hmm. And so, and around these parts, we do not believe in the word balance. Instead, it's all about living well-rounded. And so I want to know, what is your definition of living well-rounded or a well-rounded life overall?
Yeah. So I'm with you. Balance is a feeling, not a formula. And so often I think that people are looking for this elusive idea of work-life balance. And instead of looking within, we look left and right and we see what everybody else is doing. And we try to adapt, and we try to copy and paste someone else's version of work-life balance or someone else's version of balance. And we try to do it ourselves, and it just doesn't work because it's so personal. It's a feeling. And it's the same thing with living well-rounded. You know when it feels right. You know when you feel like you are firing on all cylinders and you're showing up as your best self. You know, time management, living well-rounded, work-life balance. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. You need to spend the time to get to know yourself and your personality and know what strategies and what's most important to you in order to come up with your version of living well-rounded.
Oh, that's so good. And I love how you said that people are distracted by looking left or right to see what everyone else is doing, because the reality of it is everyone is showing their highlight reel, and it looks like everybody has it put together. Everything is perfect and great. And we know behind the scenes that we're all just trying to figure it out together. Yeah. So it's great to have conversations with people, to share ideas, and for experts like yourself to come and share this platform to just pour out all of our tips and things that have worked for us and our families as we continue to grow businesses and do all the things. And so thinking of all the things to come, what are you most looking forward to in this next season of your life?
Yeah. So I'll be honest, 2021 was a very tough year, very tough season for me. We had a lot of transition. We started the year moving cities, moving homes. I had a baby a month after we moved into our new house. And so it was just a lot of change this year. I've also got a toddler, and man, every day is a new adventure. We're actually potty training right now. Thoughts and prayers.
Ooh, 1 year old, you're brave.
It's a lot. And it was just a really, it was just a tough year with lots of transition. And so I'd say that in this next season, I'm really looking forward to getting further settled into my new rhythm with Clockwise as my full-time job, where I absolutely love it. I can't tell you how I count my blessings every day that I get to spend full-time work helping others make time for what matters. And I'm still able to run my coaching business and continue to serve through my podcast. And so really continuing to look at how my full-time role with Clockwise and my coaching business and the podcast, how they all work together to create an impact that has, a ripple effect. I was so honored to spend time yesterday with the Junior League of Baton Rouge, a group of women, ambitious, driven women leaders, talking with them about weekly planning sessions and ideal week, and then go straight into a workshop with an amazing company that supports online learning, and talking with them about having a better meeting culture and how to spend more of their time doing work instead of talking about work. And it's just really, I feel like I've stepped into this season of life where I'm just constantly grateful for the opportunities that I've been given, and just continuing to see how things flourish, and just how that then becomes a blessing for my family and my girls that are getting older. And I'm really excited about this season after a tough 2021. But I'll tell you what, there were some bright spots in 2021, no doubt. Going to Creative at Heart, meeting you, making so many new connections, of course, having my second little girl, getting the Clockwise job, so many amazing things. And I'm just really excited to see how things continue to unfold, and the friendships and relationships that develop along the way.
I love that. And I love how you ended with something positive, because I know a lot of people, like, okay, what didn't go so well? But when I do coaching sessions, I want them to tell me, but what did go well? And then how can we build on that? And so I love how you emphasize some of the bright spots as well, because I think we need to do a little bit more of that as we look ahead with uncertainty still looming in the background. So thank you for that positivity. And so let's move into one of my favorite segments, which is rapid fire, this or that. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So I want to know, if you're stuck on an island, what are you bringing with you? If you could only bring 3 things, and you can't be your kids, your man, or any of those people.
Okay. Can I bring my phone? Because I want to bring my phone.
Bring your phone.
I want to bring my sentence a day journal. That is literally one of my most prized possessions. And I would like to have coffee.
I love that. Awesome. And so if you could hire a personal chef once a week cleaning, or a personal driver, which one would you pick?
Personal driver would have been my response when I was 15. I did not want to learn how to drive. I know this is supposed to be rapid fire, but I can't stop telling stories. I did not want to learn how to drive. And I was like, Mom, instead of getting a car, can you just get me a personal driver? And that didn't go well. But now I would say a personal chef. I would love to have a personal chef.
Love it. Netflix or YouTube these days?
YouTube.
Yes. Love that. And if you could stick to one brand of clothing for the next 5 years, which brand is in your closet?
Okay, it would have to be Lily Pulitzer, just because it is so bright and colorful and happy and reminds me of the beach. And that would be it.
That's you though, bright and happy and all the things. So it makes sense. So you're at a bar hanging out with friends. What are you ordering?
I'm going to ask them if they can make a Eudora's purple hat.
Okay.
So I know it's ridiculous. So the Eudora's Purple Hat is a cocktail that was made famous at the Carousel Bar at the Hotel Monteleone in New Orleans. It's citrus vodka, black raspberry liqueur, creme de violette, and it is so tasty. And it's named for Eudora Welty, the writer. So I can't get enough of that. But if they can't make that, then give me a Pim's cup.
You're just like so fancy. I love it. So what was your first job?
Oh gosh, my very first job, I was hostess at the LSU Faculty Club restaurant. It was a nice restaurant on LSU's campus that that professors would eat at and administrators. And yeah, I organized the menus, put flowers on the table, and sat people. It was a lot of fun.
I love it. And I know you were great at that. Fun fact, my favorite job was also a hostess, but it was not at a fancy little club. It was at the Ruby Tuesday.
Oh, how fun!
Down the street. And so one of my favorite questions and our last question is, what is something on your bucket list?
Something on my bucket list is to publish a book. I want to publish a book. I want to be an author. That's it.
So rephrase that. You're going to be an author.
Yeah. Okay. So I am going to land a 6-figure book deal.
Come on here, girl. Yes.
And then hit the bestsellers list, and then impact lives of, women who are looking to just live life a little bit easier by making the most of their time.
Oh my gosh. Same dream. And I am excited to be one of the first people to buy your book. I need an autograph copy and all the things. Because again, you just dropped so many amazing gems. And so if people, which I know they're going to want to continue following you and all the things that you have to offer, where can they find you on the web?
Oh, so I would be so thrilled if you would tune in to It's About Time, my podcast about work, life, and balance. And I want to note that it's not about work-life balance. It's about work, life, and balance, because we know how we feel about work-life balance.
I love that.
So I have new episodes that drop every Monday wherever you listen to podcasts. And I love to switch it up between deep dives into time management and productivity topics, and then interview go-getters to find out how they're getting things done, really pull back the curtain. And we're going to have a conversation on the show as well. So I'm looking forward to making that happen. And you can find me on Instagram at Anna D. Kornick. I love hanging out on Instagram. So please send me a DM. Come, let's be friends. Let's hang out over there. And I would love to talk with you and stay in touch.
Yes, you guys, if you did listen to this episode and you found something to be helpful, slide into her DMs and let her know that you heard her here on the Living Well-Rounded podcast. Anna, this has been a joy. You, again, have so many gems, and just your expertise is out of this world. So thank you for your time. I'm glad we were able to make this work, and I look forward to more conversations, chit chats, and all the things. So thank you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honor to spend time with you.
Thanks for kicking it with us, Well-Rounder. Share this goodness with your squad and drop us a quick review. Get notified of new episodes by hitting the subscribe button. Until next time, seek a well-rounded life and remember to focus on what matters most.